also listen to the recording later on. But attendance is necessary for them. All right, so I have uploaded a document in your classwork, which is in the lecture slides. So as I told you in the previous class that we will be having a lecture on prepositions. I just uploaded this document because there are some pictures that I want to show you in this document, though it's a long one, and if you find time you can read it. But the most important thing that I wanted to show you were the pictures. Okay, so some prepositions of place, that how can you put on or above or over or in front of, we can say beside, below, and under and behind, right? So this is actually, I wanted to make you understand that what is under, what is behind, what is below. Below is when something is under, but that is not actually touching, that is having a space. Under is like it can be sometime touching in the surface, right? And sometime not. But below is, you can see that there is a space in between, but that is just below, right? Beside is to the side of something, or behind is when you see the front of one thing, but you cannot see the other thing, but that is behind that. Okay, so it's actually one thing is placed, and you see the front of one thing and the other thing is behind that. So this behind is used, this preposition is used for that location, right? In front of is using, so in front or behind, both of them are actually the opposite. So when we say in front, it means that you are seeing the face, on the face of something, over and above and on, right? These are some pictures. They will help you a lot. Some prepositions of movement are into the box, out of the box, around the box, from the box, and towards the box. Okay, so if there is a movement and somebody is coming towards the box, but you don't know whether he or she is, whether that thing is coming into that box or to that box, but it is actually the direction is that. So we say toward the box, past the box, onto the box. You see the picture show onto the box, not into the box, right? Because into the box is something, is this one, into the box when you enter and there is a surrounding, and something you put on the surface of something, from the direction of the surface of something, that is something onto the box, off the box, over the box. So you see, I just wanted you people to see these things. Some prepositions of time, you see there are some pictures. You can just have a look to this document at any time, but I want to discuss them in detail. So let me open another tab for you people. That is it is a whiteboard. What is this? Okay. Where did it go? I have to sign it. Okay. Visual collaboration. So this is the whiteboard. Am I sharing the screen with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as I was discussing prepositions, preposition as the name shows that it's preposition, preposition, and this pre is that whenever we are having a noun, this particular word, which is a word class, which is preposition, it will be preceding the noun. Okay, it will come before a noun, but actually this preposition shows the relationship. So we say position, or we can also say it shows the relationship, or it shows the position of a word. And when we say it shows the relationship, so it shows a relationship between a word in a sentence and the word that is the object of the preposition. Okay? So we can say that if there is no object in the sentence, we cannot say that word is working as a preposition. Then it would be something else. Then it would be, though the shape would be like the preposition, but it would be working like an adverb. So for a sentence or for a preposition, object is necessary because it shows the relationship of the words with the object of the preposition. Okay, so in a sentence, object is necessary. We can say that a preposition is not a preposition unless it goes with a related noun or pronoun called the object of the preposition. Okay, for example, if we say let's meet before noon. Okay, or we have never met before. Okay. Now, in these two sentences, there is a preposition before and another is before, right? In these two sentences, there is same word, but in the second sentence, this before is working as an adverb because it needs an object. So a preposition is not a preposition unless it goes with a related noun or a pronoun called the object of the preposition. So we can also say that preposition is a word that shows the relationship of a subject and object, or we can say that preposition is a word which shows the relationship between a word in a sentence and the word that is the object of the preposition. Okay. So for example, if we say in the vase, on the table, to the movies, in the corner or at the corner, both the way we can say after the class. And these are the things. Okay. So this was the table, the movies, the corner, and the class. All of them are objects. So if we don't have an object, actually that preposition is working as an adverb then, because for most of the times we have the prepositions work as adverbs over there. Okay, then they show the time and the location, but actually preposition shows the location. preposition shows the position of a noun, it shows the location of a noun, and it is the same job of the adverb as well. But the difference between a preposition and an adverb is that preposition always takes an object with them, while there is no need for the object in case of an adverb, right? So it's a word or word that shows a relationship of the subject and object, means that it is the noun relationship, and it will be before a noun because it's preposition. Because we see the man on the platform, she arrived after dinner, right? So this dinner is actually working as an object. We can also say the word governing and usually preceding a noun or a pronoun and expressing a relationship or a relation to another word or element in a clause is called a preposition. So we can actually say that prepositions are the word governing, the words governing, and preceding, usually preceding, ठीक है, a noun or a pronoun, and expressing a relation to another word. Expressing the relationship of this noun and pronoun to other words in a sentence. In a clause or in a sentence, we can say. Okay. So there is a long list of prepositions when you Google the word prepositions or this word class prepositions. There is a long list, so you can have so many prepositions, double prepositions, compound prepositions, simple prepositions, or बहुत सारे हैं, participle prepositions and other prepositions as well. But actually, we have to categorize them. We have to make some categories, and you have been reading all these things for so long now. I mean, like since your first classes in the school, you have been reading all these prepositions and adverbs and nouns and whatever the cases are. But in these particular classes, I want you people to learn that what are actually the collocations. I mean, with which verb we use which particular preposition. Okay? Or what noun takes which prepositions, or what are the prepositions that we can put with the adjectives, because in some of the adjectives takes one preposition, the other takes another preposition, and sometimes if we talk about the verbs, they take so many prepositions at one time, but then they make an idiomatic expressions. Okay? For example, if I say agree with, agree on, or agree to, okay? So this agree with, agree on, and agree to, all of them are making an idiomatic expression, though the verb is just a single verb, agree. Okay? So you have to make sure that you will be reading the rest of the prepositions yourself. I'll be talking about the collocations, that what are the particular verbs that they can take a particular prepositions with them, and if there is a single verb taking so many prepositions, what are the idiomatic expressions. Okay? So actually you can learn these idiomatic expressions in detail from the Exploring the Word of English. There is a book, Exploring, and it's a very common book, Exploring the Word of English. It is written by Anwar Sadat. It's an Indian writer. So Exploring the Word of English by Anwar Sadat. You can have a list of These are idiomatic expressions, that what are the prepositions that are can be collocated with the verbs, and if there is a single verb taking so many prepositions, what are the meanings? So if I say agree with, what is the meaning of agree with? Where can we put these agree with? If I say agree to, what is the meaning? Okay. And if I say agree in, ठीक है, so बहुत सारे meanings हो सकते हैं. I'll be discussing these things with you. But before that, let me discuss some of very common prepositions that we normally see, and they are very common in our conversations, in writings and conversations. So as I told you that when you Google the word preposition, you can find a list of, or you will have a long list of prepositions, and that will start from about, till, out, for, in, at, on, and about, above, against, beneath, below, besides, or beside, okay, between, during, up, upon, on, to, toward, within. We can have double prepositions as well, with or within. Through. Through is normally used for checks. Okay. From, off, onto, into. These are the double prepositions. Of. Okay. बहुत सारे हैं. As I said that when you Google this word prepositions, you will find a list of prepositions. So these are the prepositions. Some of them are double prepositions. Some are, we can say, there are participle prepositions as well. I'll be discussing participle prepositions as well with you. But before that, let me discuss some of the collocations with you. Okay, going to the collocations, as I said that we have to discuss the common prepositions that we see normally in our conversation. So as I told you that there are double prepositions and so many other, but you have to learn it from Google that what are double prepositions, what are these prepositions. Actually, when we put on and onto, this is actually up, on, and onto, it's a double preposition because we have to and this on, and we will combine this, then we can also call it double preposition. Within is a double preposition, and into is a double preposition because in and it's to, because there is a location and as well as the direction. So both this into shows the location as well as the direction. Onto also shows the direction as well as the location. Okay. There are very common prepositions that we use, and they are actually in, on, at. Okay. These are the three very common prepositions that we use, and these three common prepositions can be used for the place as well as we use them for the time. Okay. So we can use in for the location, on and at for the location, or we can say place, and we can also use them for the time. For example, in, on, or at, we use them for the time. So how can we use it for the place? For example, if I'm using in for the place, how would I use it? Okay. So in is normally used for the places where we have surroundings, especially, or the places having some boundary. So the place is having some boundary. We say that it is in, but we can say in the chair. We do not say on the chair. It's in the chair because there is a surrounding. On the stool, because there is no surrounding, so we can say when there is a surface, when there are surfaces, we use on. It's actually on is used, but for the surroundings we use in. Okay. So and for like we can also say that it is this in is used for the permanency of the place as well. If I say I am a lecturer at UET Peshawar, and again if I say I am a lecturer in UET Peshawar. Okay. So these two differences are that I'm a lecturer at UET. It means that for a short period or precise time or time that I'm a lecturer over there. So I'm on visiting basis maybe, and I'm a lecturer in UET Peshawar. So I know that I'm showing the location or the place, but actually it shows the permanency as well. So if I say I'm a lecturer in UET Peshawar, so I teach there permanently and I'm a permanent lecturer. Okay. So it's for the sometime for the permanence as well. In is but basically whenever we have the surroundings, so we normally use n. Okay. For example, in a hall, in school, in a building, in room, okay. These are actually the prepositions of n when it shows the preposition n when it shows the place. So the place where there is a surrounding. Now, on is used for the places on when we have surfaces. When there is a surface, we say it's on. For example, on the table, on the table, on the wall, because there, on the roof, on the map, etc. Okay. And at is used for some specific places or specific locations. Okay. If I say I am in UVT Peshawar at the Department of CS and IT, so I'm specifying my location. Okay. So I would say I'm in UVT at the Department of UVT Peshawar. So Department of CS and IT, that is actually I'm specifying. So at is used for specific places. It's actually showing the location. Okay. It's actually showing the location. So at the entrance, if somebody is asking me to send me the location or tell me your location, so I would say I am in UET Peshawar at the entrance of this department or at the entrance of this block or building or whatever the case is. So at the entrance at the bottom, at bus stop. Okay, these are actually the prepositions. The place. There are so many prepositions of the direction. We will also talk about that. This is to, towards, through, into. Like if we use this double preposition in and to. For example, in is for, as I said, it can be for the place or, but if we just put the preposition of the direction to, because we have the preposition of the direction to, toward, through, and this we can say there are others as well. So that is actually we are mixing, or we are combining two prepositions. One is the preposition of the place, the other is the preposition of the direction. So when we have both, there is an element of the movement, we can combine this preposition of direction and preposition of place. Okay, I'll talk about that as well. Now see, these are for the places. When we use in, on, or at for the places, so if we use them for the timings, okay, for the timings, if on is used or in is used for the timings, what would be the, okay, in is normally used for months, or it can be used for years as well. Okay, for example, in January or in 1999, okay, or it can be also used for a particular time of the day or month or year, particular time of the day. Let's not confuse them with at, but we can say a particular time of the day, year, or month. Okay, for example, in the morning, so it's a particular time of the day. In evening, okay, and in the first week of January, so that's a particular time of the day. In the first week of January, okay, this is actually the time. Or we can also say for centuries. So it can also be used for centuries, like in 21st century. Okay. We can also say in past or in future. We cannot say at future or on future. In past and in future. So it is for the timings. Okay. Now, on is used for the timings as well, and it shows the day. Okay. So the days means on Monday, Tuesday, or we can also say it can be used for the particular day. Okay, on my birthday, on Independence Day, okay, or it's like the date as well, on 5th of October, or on 21st September. Okay, and at can be used. These are the timings are on. At can be used for the time, as I said, that it is used for the specific places and the location. So it is, again, when it is used for the timings, it is used for the specific timings. Okay, it is used for the specific timings when we use them. So the specific timings are actually the time of the clock, or it can be the short and the precise timings, or we can say which are the particular timings. Okay, uh, like the time of the clock, the time of the clock is shown by this preposition at. For example, we can say at 5 o'clock, okay, at 7 o'clock, or at 7 p.m. We can also say that, or at 9:30 or 9:20 p.m. Okay, or a short and a precise time. The short and the precise time, we said that for the particular time of the day we use n, but that is like in evening or in morning. There are some timings which are short and precise. For them we use at. For example, at noon, at sunset. This is a short and a precise time. Or at lunchtime, at noon, or at night. Okay, or midnight. So you know midnight is actually the 12 a.m. At the same time, at bedtime, at the moment. These are actually the short and the precise timings. Okay. So these are the three common prepositions that we normally use in our language, sometimes the writings and sometimes like this spoken communication. So both in writing and spoken communication, you must know that at least these very familiar prepositions where we use them. Okay, so where we use these prepositions, at least you must know now that how we use at, how we use n, and how we use on, when we use them for places and timings. Okay, so there are differences in their timings. At is used for specific timings and specific places and short and precise things. Okay, n is used for permanency, n is used for the places where there is a boundary, and n is used for so many timings as well. ठीक है, so I hope it is clear now. और मैं अभी बोल रही हूँ, आप लोग मुझे नहीं सुन रहे?
Yes, ma'am. Soon, Rahul.
सुन रहे हैं मैम।
Okay, ठीक है. So this is all about the preposition, or these are the very common preposition that we use. There are, as I said, that there are so many other prepositions that when you Google it, you will have a list of preposition. But actually, I'm not going to discuss that ये double preposition क्या है, or preposition types of preposition. Actually, these types of preposition you can learn it from any book. Just pick a book of grammar and you will learn all the types of prepositions. That participle preposition क्या है, double preposition क्या है, and all that. ठीक है? Actually, I just want to discuss the collocations with you. What are the collocations? Collocations are actually when we like what prepositions or the verbs and the nouns or the adjectives. ये जो हमारे पास तीन types है, the verbs, the nouns, and the adjectives. Which verb is taking which preposition, and which noun is taking which preposition, and the same is the case with the adjectives, that when we use adjectives, they take so many prepositions with them. For example, if I say fondness, for and fond of, this fond and fondness. Okay, one is fond is actually an adjective. Okay, and fondness is like a noun. Okay, so fondness for and fond of. Okay, And if we see cause of and reason for, okay, both of them are a noun, but cause and reason, and both of them having the same meaning, approximately the same meaning. I mean, like cause or reason, both of them are actually the effect. Okay, so cause, but it takes off with it, this preposition of, and reason takes the preposition for with it. So whenever we use this is the reason, you should not use reason behind something. ठीक है, क्योंकि हमने शायद उर्दू से ये चीज ट्रांसलेट की हुई है कि इसके पीछे क्या वजह है. ठीक है, so sometimes we say reason behind. No, there is no reason behind, reason for. So actually this preposition that we are using, it's actually wrong. Behind is not something that, behind is used for the location, it's not for the reason. So reason always takes for preposition with it, cause takes off preposition with it. ठीक है, तो आई होप आप लोग को थोड़ी बहुत समझ आ गई कि व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस विद यू. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई से कीप ऑन और इफ आई से कीप अप, ठीक है, सो दिस कीप ऑन इज एक्चुअली आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू दैट कंटिन्यू विद द सेम थिंग. ठीक है, कंटिन्यू, और कीप अप. ठीक है, keep on, it's actually I'm telling you to struggle, try to struggle and go for something higher. Okay, and if I say keep up, it means that you have reached the same thing, but it just keep this thing with you. Okay, so keep up and keep on. So keep on is actually for the continuous thing. It's continuity, an element of continuity is there. ठीक है, जैसे look for and look after. ठीक है, one verb but having different prepositions. So what is look for and look after? Look for is when you search. ठीक है, look after is just taking care. So these are actually the prepositions that I want to discuss with you. There are so many other prepositions. You, as I have uploaded a document in your classwork, you can learn the prepositions. जैसे मैंने आप लोग को कहा था कि the preposition of direction, that is toward, sorry, toward or into or onto. ठीक है, these are the preposition of direction. To is actually that preposition of direction. It can show the relationship as well, and it can show the direction as well. To is when, for example, if somebody is moving to or is going to, but we cannot say moving, we would say is going to. So going to school, going to library, going to room, or things like that, into the room or to some. So it means that that is a specific direction, the person is actually going to that place. If I say going toward library, so it means that we are unsure that whether the person is going to that library or not, but it's like the direction is toward library. So we say toward library. Into something, into is actually when we say he's going into, or he jumped into the river. ठीक है, into the river, when we are say swimming in the river. ठीक है, and if we say jumped into the river, so when you are in the river, we do not say into the river, we say in the river. ठीक है, because the person is over there. But if you are jumping, so there is a movement. So when we accompany a movement on an element of movement, we say into. So he's running into the room, he's jumping into the river, but we cannot say he is into the room. We would say he is in the room or she is in the room when they are actually sitting in the room for a long time we would say in the room, but we won't say into the room. But if somebody is going in that room, we would say into the room. The person is moving or going into the room or entering into the room. Okay. So actually, it is showing us the direction of. So she went to the library, or she went toward she's going toward library. So went to the library. It means that she was actually going to the library. Or someone was coming toward him. Okay. So we actually aren't uh, like there is no we aren't there is no confirmation that whether the person is coming to him or but actually the movement is towards, the direction is toward. Okay. There are a preposition of agent as well. For example, if we say by or with, by or with is like a preposition of agent, we can call them. By is when we do something with one thing. Okay. Or something is done by a person. Okay. So that is the agency. And like for example, the tub is filled with water. Okay. Or the novel or the play is written by Shakespeare. Okay. It's written by Shakespeare. So there are like also devices as well. For example, she comes daily by bus, or he opened the lock with a key. Okay. So and he cuts her finger with a knife. So that is like the instrument. So ये सारी चीजें आप you can find it at any book, any Google site. आप इसको Google करें, ये सारी चीजें आप वहाँ पे find कर सकते हैं. So today I want you people to know that what are the nouns that can take prepositions with them, what are the verbs that they take prepositions, and then what they make the meanings, and how the idiomatic expressions are formed. So basically these are the verbs. जो verbs के साथ हम different prepositions लगाते, they make the idiomatic expressions. And what are the adjectives? So there is a list. I'll be discussing some of them, not all of them. I'll be giving some homework or home task to you people that please work on it, because it's very important for you people to know that which noun is taking which preposition, और फिर उसका मतलब क्या बनता है. There I'll be asking you people to make sentences. ठीक है. With the nouns there are so many. Let me discuss the nouns first. With the nouns there are so many that we can put. For example, like off हम कहाँ पे लगाते हैं. ठीक है. और for हम कहाँ लगाते हैं, with हम कहाँ लगाते हैं, and to हम कहाँ लगाते हैं with the nouns. ठीक है. So this for example, a member of knowledge knowledge of memory of method of. ठीक है. Fear of awareness of love of We can also say it's love for. Okay. Check for, admiration for, cure for, demand for, love for, need for, ठीक है. With के साथ argument, concern with, link with, relation with, difficulty with, meeting with, connection with, contact with. ठीक है, बहुत सारे हैं. And two is access to, damage to, desire to, reaction to, newcomer to, reference to. ठीक है. Now I have said reference for and reference to. What is the difference between reference for and reference to? मुझे लगता है आप सो रहे हैं.
मैम रेफरेंस फॉर मतलब किसी चीज के लिए रेफरेंस करना और रेफरेंस टू किसी चीज को रेफरेंस करना.
ठीक है, सही है. Okay, very good. Adjectives and prepositions are like afraid of, blessed with, angry, angry about, and angry with. Angry about and agree with, excited with, familiar with, ready for, pleased with, sad about, famous for, and the same is the case with the notorious for, thankful for, disappointed with, okay. These are the prepositions with the adjectives. Now coming to the prepositions with the verbs, which are the most interesting things to do. And they are actually like these prepositions are actually making the idiomatic expressions when we say that what are the idioms. Okay, so these idioms or the idiomatic expressions are actually the verbs and the prepositions and the combination and their collocations. Okay, so बहुत सारे ऐसे adjectives हैं जैसे aware of, capable of, careless about, familiar with, interested in, jealous of, mad of, and there are so many. ठीक है, married to, sorry for, sure of, tired of, worried about. ठीक है, so these are the, we can say the adjectives that they take those prepositions with them. There are now verbs that they can take so many prepositions with them and they have different meanings. Okay, like now made of and made from. Okay, made of and made from. Now this made is actually a verb and it is taking two prepositions, made of and made from. So when we say made of something, when something is made of, it means that the raw material is, we can see the raw material. So we would say made, the chair is made of wood. Okay, and if we say made from, so ice cream is made from milk, because we cannot see the raw material, then it's a mixture. There is no but in the chair we can see the raw material, that is the wood. So we would say the chair is made of wood and ice cream is made from milk. Okay, now there are others like agree with, agree to, agree in, okay. Now can you tell me what is the difference between agree with and agree to and others like agree in?
मैम एग्री विद किसी पर्सन के साथ, एग्री टू कोई मतलब अपना कोई ओपिनियन देता है या फिर उसके ओपिनियन के साथ एग्री करना, और एग्री इन इसका मैं नहीं पता.
Okay, okay. Very good, excellent. Agree with is actually with the people, and agree to is for the proposals. Okay, proposals or opinion, as you said, are agree in is basically when there are some rules and regulation, and all of the people are informed that these are actually the rules, and you are agree in those rules. Okay. agree in those rules. So the rules and regulations for the university for a particular department, so you are agree in those rules. Okay, so actually it is used for that. There are like give up, grow up,
Yes, ma'am.
ask for, sorry, let's pay for, talk about, belong to, belong from नहीं है, belong to है. Now care for or care of, इन दोनों में क्या फर्क है? care for and care of.
मैम केयर फॉर मतलब किसी पर्सन के या किसी चीज के बारे में ख्याल करना या उसकी केयर करना, और केयर ऑफ मतलब
मैम किसी नॉन लिविंग थिंग के बारे में
यस
केयर करना।
वो केयर ऑफ होता है। बताएं ना। केयर ऑफ कभी कभी हम उस पे लिखते हैं। इफ यू हैव नोटिस्ड वन थिंग, व्हेन समटाइम वी ड्रॉप एन एप्लीकेशन समवेयर और उस पे हम लिखते हैं विद द केयर ऑफ, और किसी बंदे का नाम लिखते हैं, तो उसका क्या मतलब होता है? विद द रेफरेंस ऑफ। तो जब हम किसी बंदे का रेफरेंस लेते हैं विद द केयर ऑफ दिस पर्सन, ये इस बंदे के रेफरेंस से ये बंदा इधर आया हुआ है, सो दैट इज विद द केयर ऑफ। ठीक है। ask for, belong to, bring up, ask about. ठीक है। now ask for and ask about, what is this?
किसी चीज के लिए पूछना या किसी की चीज के बारे में पूछना।
ask for and किसी ask about। ठीक है। ask for something means that actually when we ask about something, it's actually we want to know for the about that particular thing. ठीक है। ask for means के when you want to help, when you want the other person to help you, so it is asking for। ठीक है। asking for the help or asking, but you cannot say ask about a help, asking for a help। ठीक है। now ये जो ऑफ है हम कहाँ पे यूज करते हैं? we use off where? आप लोग को ये ऑफ आना चाहिए, ये बहुत जरूरी है। दिस ऑफ इज वेरी नेसेसरी टू लर्न।
मैम टू लीव समथिंग इस तरह कि जाओ।
मैम रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन मतलब दूसरे वर्ड के साथ रिलेशनशिप बनानी।
हाँ, दूसरे वर्ड के साथ दिस इज द प्राइमरी फंक्शन ऑफ द prepositions, बट ऑफ जहां पे भी हम यूज करते हैं इट्स एक्चुअली यूज फॉर द सेपरेशन। जब हम एक चीज को दूसरे से सेपरेट करते हैं, इट्स एक्चुअली यूज फॉर द डिसकनेक्शन। ठीक है। सो इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि हर जगह ये किसी एक एक उसके साथ वर्ब के साथ आएगा। इट कैन बी विद द डिफरेंट वर्ब्स। For example, I'm writing some of the sentences that they took the wheels of the car. तो separate कर लिए, ठीक है? और he turned the lights off. So this off is actually used for removing separation, disconnection, or things like that. ठीक है? और he cleaned the spoiled soup off the table. ठीक है? और the dog ran off. ठीक है? बाहर निकल गया. So it's actually we use them for such things. ठीक है? अच्छा. अब ये correspond to and correspond with. इसका क्या मतलब है आप लोगों ने मुझे बताना है. Compare to and compare with. And compare with. Differ with or differ from. Live at, live in, live on, or live with. ठीक है? Now argue with, argue to, sorry, about, or argue for. ठीक है? Or the first one is the agree on, in, with, और to. ठीक है? अब आप एक एक बंदा मुझे बताएं. Correspond to, correspond with, compare to, compare with, differ with, differ from, live at, in, on, and with, argue with, about, and for, and agree on, in, with, and to. आप लोग मुझे बता सकते हैं.
मैम कंपेयर टू का है कि किसी चीज को कंपेयर करना, और कंपेयर विद का के किसी चीज से कंपेयर करना।
तो दोनों कंपेयर नहीं हुए। कंपेयर टू क्या कहता है, कंपेयर विद क्या कहता है? व्हेन वी कंपेयर टू समथिंग इट मींस दैट वी आर कंपेयरिंग टू थिंग्स, एंड कंपेयरिंग विद मींस दैट वी आर कंपेयरिंग टू थिंग्स, so it's one and the same thing. But there is a other thing that you have to know, that compare to is actually when we show the likeness, that this one is like that person or like that thing. So when we try to show the likeness or when we show the similarities, it's like the comparing to means that we try to see for the similarities between the two things. Okay, when we compare with something it means that we want to see the differences between the two things. Sometimes the similarities भी देखते हैं, but with के साथ हम कभी भी अगर हम किसी चीज को compare करते हैं ना with something, ठीक है, so it's actually we are looking for both the differences and similarities, but actually the differences is dominant with. But if we compare it to something we see for the similarities or likeness, हम जो कहते हैं, that is actually, ठीक है, तो अब हम कहते हैं ना compare it to that person, it's the same, ठीक है, और जब हम compare कहते हैं compare with that, so see the difference, if there is no difference they are both of the same, ठीक है, correspond to or correspond with, ठीक है, correspondence is actually when we talk or when we interact with people, so that is corresponding. So corresponding to a thing is, it's actually to correspond to a thing when we have correspondence with a thing, with a paper, or with a laptop or things like that. When it is like with a person, we say with, correspond to a thing and correspond to a person. So differ from an unlike thing and differ from a person. Differ with, ठीक है, differ from and differ with. So differ from is with the thing, and differ with it's like the comparison with a person, ठीक है. Live at, it's actually live at an address, as we discussed in the previously, that at is actually used when there is a specific address, when there is a specific location. So whenever you are showing your location, as I said, that when you say I am in UAT at the department or at the entrance or at this particular, so when you are showing the addresses specifically to your home address or your particular location where you are living, ठीक है, it's actually you have to say I live at this particular address, ठीक है. Live in a house or in a city, so when there is a city or a house you have to say in, because a house is having a boundary and a city also. On a street, on a road, ठीक है, so when we say on, it means that you are living on this particular street, you are living on this particular road, things like that. Or live with, it's like with the other people, with your sister, with your brother, or with your father, or people like them, ठीक है. Give about is about a matter. Give with a person, give for something, ठीक है, or against, ठीक है. Give for something, or give with a person, for a matter, or about, it's like about a matter you are giving, or you are talking, or you are having some arguments with the people, okay. So I hope it is clear now. Is it clear for today that there are prepositions that we use, but actually the most important thing is to learn the preposition, the collocations of prepositions, that with which noun we put which preposition, or which verb takes what type of prepositions, ठीक है, and how they make the idiomatic expressions with them. So is it clear for today?
Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम.
ठीक है, सही है. Don't go anywhere. I just want to take the attendance and